I'm Dale Dahlin, and I'm 72 years old. I started painting a little more than a year ago, and I always wanted to paint, and I love watching Bob Ross, and he inspired me to paint, and I advise anybody to watch his shows. But I paint with acrylics instead of oils, and he painted with oils. So I had to do a little bit of maneuvering around to get to be able to do what I wanted to do. It's an impressionistic style painting, and so that forgives a lot of things, and it's fun. And you can paint with these acrylic paints at your leisure. Where in oil painting, you pretty much got to stay with it until it's done because it's a wet on wet style. And if you let it dry, which can take 3 or 4 days, maybe up to 7 days, then you can't move the paints around anymore. But with acrylics, you want them to dry so that you can move on. That's also good because if you want to stop for a couple of weeks, you can, and you come back and you're ready to go. I'm going to show you some of the paintings that I did in the early days, bringing you up to now. And hopefully you can see an advancement. Practice is the best thing for all types of things. I mean, just practice, practice. And fortunately, since I'm kind of a cheap guy, I've worked out some things for you that you can save some money, and you can really get a lot of paintings done and not spend a lot of money doing it. Oil paintings aren't that forgiving. They're kind of expensive to work with, and they're messy. So let's go over some of the things that that you're going to need to make acrylic paintings. First of all, you're going to need a well-lit room. Outside light is great, but if you want to paint at night, well, that's not going to help any. So just get a well-lit room. You're going to be using a hair dryer a bit, so it's nice to have a door on it on the room so you're not waking up the kids in the middle of the night when you decide to do some painting. Next thing you're going to need is an easel. I built this one because I'm kind of handy with woodwork, and I'm, again, cheap, and so I made it out of scraps. But you can go to a Walmart and get something like this, which is good enough. It's 25 bucks, works great. It can be a stand-up, so you can stand up and paint, or you can sit down, shorten the legs, and put it on a table and paint. Works very well. The next thing that you're going to want to get is a palette. Now I use an acrylic sheet. This came in a pack of 2 from Amazon. The package was like 12 bucks, so they're 6 bucks a piece. I haven't even used the second one, and I've done dozens of paintings with this. Use the slick side for your mixing of paints. Then we're going to need a canvas. I use a 16 by 20 canvas. They come in a pack of 6. I think it's about right around 20 bucks. So for 6 of them, that's pretty cheap. It's a canvas board. It's thin, it's rigid, it's already primed. You stick it on your easel with some little tack things, fun tack, ticky tack, whatever. That way you can pop them off when you're done. And the reason I like these over your traditional canvas is because a traditional canvas is stretched. It's a canvas, a primed canvas, it's stretched over a wood frame. Looks great, same size, a lot more expensive. But the thing of it is that where this wood is, this wood frame, when you dab your paints against it with a heavy brush, which you'll be doing, you're going to dab against it like that. Right where this wood frame is, it's going to make a dark line, and you can kind of see it there. I've kind of made one, but it's going to make a dark line, and you're going to end up with that all around your painting. It doesn't look great. So I use these. They work great. Another thing that you're going to need is brushes. Well, brushes, you can end up spending a whole lot of money, and you don't need to. You can spend 30 bucks on one brush, and I did that. And it wasn't any better, really, for this kind of painting. It wasn't any better than what you get in this package. That's every brush you're probably going to need except for a couple of additions. Maybe a big one, a bigger one like that. This came from a paint store or from a lumber yard. Cost about $1. It's called a chip brush. Works great for making your leaves and bushes, all this kind of stuff. Works great for that. $10 for that whole pack, and I guarantee you, that's what you see over here is a set like that. Works great. We're also going to need to have some of painter's tape. And there's two kinds of painter's tape that I found. There's blue and there's green. Blue is about half the price of the green, but the green works so much better that use the green. And what I use it for is a couple things. First off, when I do a painting, I don't put everything in a frame when I'm done. That can get expensive and it's a lot of frames. But so what you do is you put the width of the tape around the edge of the painting. When you're done, you peel it off. You've got, it looks like it's already been matted. You can just put it on the wall like that or lean it up on top of the fireplace, whatever. But works great. So green tape. All right, the next thing that we're going to need is a couple of cups for your water. I like a good square bottom cup. What's this one? $1.25. Can't go wrong. And it won't tip over. It'll hold your brushes. You're going to use that a lot. Of course, you're going to need paper towels. The ticky tack I told you about for mounting your canvas board on your easel. And then we're going to need some paint. Well, again, let's go back to Walmart. They have a big selection of the cheap brushes and the easel and the board and the paint. And it's about, I don't know, less than $4 for a 4-ounce tube. If you go online and if you were going to use oil painting, I mean, it could be, the oil paintings honestly can be, for that size tube, can be 10 times that amount. Again, that's why I went with, another reason why I went to acrylics. And get all the colors. The mixing is great, and I do a lot of mixing, but sometimes you'll find that this blue is exactly the blue that I want for my sky. You don't have to mix up a bunch of it. You got a whole tube of it there. What else? Oh, the practice foam board. So when you're painting and you're wondering, okay, I want to try, do I need this brush or do I need this brush? And so you're wondering for the application that you want, what's going to be better, and you haven't had time to, or the presence of mind, to try them all out. So I get foam board. It's pretty much the same color. It's pretty much the same texture. It's a matte finish on it. It costs about maybe $2, $3. And I'll show you the big sheet. And you can get this at Walmart too. So it's that big. You see how big that is? Okay. And then you cut it up into pieces. And there, I use that on another painting. And then I can try it with the paint, and I can go, no, that didn't work. I'm going to try it with this one. Oh, that works great. There you go. Foam board. Actually, I've had some of the foam boards when I'm done with the painting. I look at it and I go, wow, that's pretty cool. Lastly, I think what you're going to need is a subject. Well, what I do is, like, this is one that I've used. You can do it a couple ways. I like to paint from a photograph, big enough that I can see. And so I usually use photos I've taken or my family's taken. You can also go to public domain sites on the internet. But I print them out. I'll bring it into my laptop computer, and I'll size it so it fits on an 8.5 by 11 sheet, print it out on glossy paper, and I make it with a border so I can see just how I want to make my painting. And I use it as a guide. I'm not going to try and paint it exactly the way that it is here. I'm just going to use it. I mean, you know, if I didn't like whatever in the mountain, you don't have to do it that way. So anyway, use that as your guide. When you're looking at the Bob Ross videos, you're going to see him looking occasionally off to the side over here. That's what he's looking at. He's painting from a previously painted painting or from a photograph. So that's the way to do it. Real life painting outside is tough to do because the light changes, and you know, those people are really, really talented that can do that. But anyway, so that's what we need to make paintings on this. I'm going to say for about $100, you can get all of this, enough to make like 6 paintings, and that's pretty cheap to end up with an artist's painting. So enjoy, have fun, relax. You can't mess up. If you think you have, you just paint over it and do something else. So enjoy, have fun, and I hope you enjoy our series and come back and see us. Thanks.